You are not your thoughts, but if you think the same thing over and over and over again, your life will become that or the similar frequency of that thing that you are thinking. How I see it from my perspective is that our free will really comes into play in our mind with our thoughts. I do believe there is some form of destiny that we choose before entering this life, and we're most likely going to get there because it is our destiny, but I feel like our free will can change our path based on the thoughts that we think. And that can either lead us in a more positive direction towards our destiny, or it can feel like a more negative direction away from our destiny. Not to say that we can't reach our destiny if we go off into the negative direction, but I feel like the negative feelings we feel from the specific thoughts that we think are indicators of you're moving away from where you are meant to go. And those little reminders are supposed to wake us up to realize, oh, you're right, let me head back this way. Hi, my name is Julia. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. So this video is all about how our personalities are built from us, our surroundings, and the people that we interact with. Because a lot of times I feel like if we're not being mindful and we're not being aware and conscious, we can really adapt certain stories and take on certain beliefs that are more limiting to us. And then that can become a part of our personality when we don't even intend for it to be. So I'm going to be showing you how to really get aware of your thoughts, get a hold on your stories, and start to change them to be more favorable to the life that you want to have or the person that you want to be. Obviously both. How this stories, thoughts, emotions, reality, personality comes to be from my perspective is like this. You adapt a belief around a story that you experienced or heard. So what that means is, like, maybe you experienced a traumatic experience, even if it was like a small trauma, it doesn't have to be a huge trauma, and you weren't able to process what you went through in the moment or right after the moment, and you hold on to the pain that happened, whether it's in your subconscious mind or consciously, but it's still there, it's within you. Or you heard a story about something that happened to a person that you care about, or just a person in general, and you really felt an identification with that story that happened to that other person, so much so that you took it within yourself and started having thoughts about it, to the point where you adopted a story of this might happen to me, and you created a limiting belief that if you don't do X, Y, and Z, this might happen to you. So whatever the prompting event is, whether it's a story from somebody else or an upsetting or traumatic thing that you experienced, now you have a negative, or honestly, you could have a positive, it could go either way, but you have a story around the scenario, right? Then from that story, it's going to lead to a feeling. So if it's a more positive story, you're probably going to have a positive feeling. If it's a more negative story, you're probably going to have a negative feeling. Then that feeling is going to cause you to then have thoughts that reinforce the story, which will then lead to more emotions, which will then lead to more thoughts, and it will begin to loop, and it can become a spiral and build momentum in either the positive direction or the negative direction, depending on what these thoughts and feelings are. And going back to the first part, I just want to clarify that it doesn't have to be a negative traumatic event or something negative that you heard. It could be a positive event that you experienced, or it could be something positive that you heard. So for example, let's say you always witnessed your parents or other family members working careers they enjoyed and easily making money. You're going to take that belief or story from them of, oh, it's easy to make money when I do something I enjoy. But it could also go in the other direction. If you watch your parents or family members work a job that they really don't like and struggle to make money, you can take their belief onto yourself and think, oh, it's really hard to find a career that I enjoy that I can make money from. And money is a struggle for me to make. Like I said, it can go either way. And after enough reinforcement of this story within us and externally from circumstances, situations, people in our lives, we take this story as a part of our personality as if it were us. So like I said about the making money example, if you always witnessed the ease of people making money from things they enjoy, you'll take that on as a part of yourself and you won't even think about it really. You'll just be like, I do what I enjoy doing and money comes to me easily and frequently. I don't need to worry about it. You would see yourself as rich or wealthy. That would be a part of your personality trait. Then on the flip side, the negative version of that would be when it comes time for you to go out into the world and work a career or a job to make money, you'll see it as difficult. You'll constantly run into blockages. You're constantly going to run into money struggles or jobs that you really, really hate. And you'll take that onto your personality as I am broke. I struggle with work. I don't know what I want to do. I don't enjoy what I do. Money is the root of all evil. Money is hard to make. And you'll see yourself as broke and struggling. And that will become a part of your personality trait. The thing about this process is it all happens subconsciously. Like, we don't even realize that it's happening when it's happening most of the time, because we're not aware of the fact that our thoughts aren't us to begin with, and that these stories aren't just stories. We think that they're actually a part of us, that we don't even get the choice to take them on or not take them on, because subconsciously we believe they are us. But these thoughts and stories aren't you, and they can be changed to stories that you prefer, or if you do like the story that you have around something, you can keep reinforcing it so as to not allow it to change into a negative story. And the way I just described this process makes it seem really simple, because it is. The only thing that ever makes it not simple is our attachment to the story, and letting go of our attachment to the story can be very uncomfortable and scary if we are resistant to change, because it can feel like we're losing a part of ourselves, but at our core essence, it was never us to begin with. So in reality, we're not actually losing a part of ourselves. We're just letting go of a negative story or limiting belief. And actually, all beliefs are limiting, but there are beliefs that are more elevating than others. So as we move up the emotional frequency consciousness scale, our beliefs have to expand and change to become more positive, to reflect where we are on that scale. So what that means is having a belief that shrinks you down to this size. To change that, you need to take on a belief that is expanded to this size. So for example, let's say you have a belief that keeps you in a box of shame that's this size. If you want to move up to a higher frequency, you would need to take on a belief like anger in a box this size. And then if you want to move up from anger to courage, then you would need to take on a belief at the size of courage, which might be this size. And then you keep going and going up till love and peace and the other more positive emotions in the scale, probably all the way up into enlightenment and infinite possibilities, which would probably be beyond belief. Get it? Beyond belief. But if we want to get to a place where we're truly free of all limitations, it has to be beyond belief, which I don't know if we can get to as humans or not, but it is a cool concept to think about. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I know I said that you have to move up like one step, second step, third step, fourth step up the emotional ladder. You can skip from shame to peace, but it's a quantum jump, which isn't impossible, but typically it's easier to move from shame to anger to courage to joy to peace to love to enlightenment, whatever the exact specifics are. I'm probably saying them a little out of order, but if you were to skip from shame to love or shame to enlightenment, that would be a quantum jump, and that would take a lot more of an extreme shift in beliefs, but it's possible. Anyway, as I was saying, letting go of a story that feels like it's a part of you can be really uncomfortable, maybe even painful at times, but the only way out is through the discomfort, through the growing pains, and recognize it's worth it to let go of the lesser story to take on a higher story that paints the picture of the person that you want to be in the life that you want to have. Plus, the more you do this, letting go of what's no longer serving you to then take on something that is serving you, the easier it becomes to do. And you learn to love the process of doing it instead of fearing it, because you know deep down that the better it gets, the better it gets. Change is the only constant in this universe, and as soon as we accept it, the easier it gets to let go. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you.